Hello, everybody. Good morning to you, good afternoon, or even good evening, depending upon what time zone you're in. It's time for the vibe. I'm Yvonne Miles. I am your host. I am the founder of Vibrantly Living You, which is a health and wellness movement. It's dedicated to you. It is dedicated to you and claiming health so vibrant, it's as though you're aging backwards. Aging is a word that keeps coming up quite a bit. And we show up here most Fridays to offer inspiration, to offer motivation, and to explore some new tools and connect with some very interesting, intriguing subject matter experts who can help us feel more in control of our health. And I have one of those people with me here today. I'm going to introduce her in just one quick sec. Just want to say that for the months of July and August, we have been exploring the heart chakra. And yet for today, we're going to take a little detour, do something a little bit different, because my lovely guest, Anne Greenwald, and I have a training coming up, a challenge that anybody can hop in and join. It'll be on Zoom and on Facebook. We'll tell you more about that. It is called Leap into Vitality: 5 Secrets to Beat the Aging Slump and Emerge into Your Best Life. So let's get on with it. I'm just so pleased and so honored to be able to welcome back my friend and my colleague, Anne Greenwald. Hi, Anne. There she is joining us
Fun.
all. Yeah, all the way from
Ooh, New
New
Hampshire.
Hampshire. Yes. Let me tell you a little
Mm.
bit about Anne. Anne is a certified movement coach and personal trainer with advanced degrees in biomechanics, neurokinetic therapy, and Reiki. I told you, intriguing subject matter experts. She's an expert in solving issues with physical pain and discomfort, and specializes in chronic joint pain conditions, the kind that zap your energy and might cause you to miss out on life events. So whether you are up against the fast motion trauma that comes from an injury, or that slow motion trauma that so many of us are experiencing that we call aging, she is here to help you move with ease and age with grace so that you feel great again. She's also a functional aging specialist, and she uses that to enhance her clients' ability to function better and live longer. So, yay, Anne, go, Anne. And I'm always so pleased to be able to bring people who have expertises that are similar to mine, but also that diverge a little bit from mine. And my expertise is on the biggest one I claim is on teaching the Nia technique. And the Nia technique, easiest way to describe it is it's a fusion of lots of different movement modalities. It's based in dance, but it's not just about becoming a better dancer. It really is about connecting your physical body with your emotional body and your spiritual body and your mental abilities, and giving them all a really wonderful joyride so that you can step into more sensation, more awareness, more energy, more ease. So that's my primary modality. And yet, over the last several years, probably for the more years than I even really want to think about, I've been very drawn to good nutrition and what it takes to fuel your body, to nourish your body. But not only that, but how to make it enjoyable, how to make it something that you want to sustain, how to make it something that is not about giving up, but is more about gaining. So there's a lot that Anne offers, as well as a lot that I offer, and that's why we happily consider ourselves colleagues in this space of bringing healing to people. So just thought I'd throw that in there so that it makes sense why we're both on the vibe today. And I've got a question for you. Since Yeah, so much of what you're about is aging as well. What do you think is the biggest culprit when it comes to aging? It kind of kicks the bucket.
Yeah, no, that is an excellent question. And, if you think about it, for all of us, what we imagine aging is going to be, is it frailty? Is it, you hear your grandparents, whatever, aches and pains, and it really is pain. Pain is the biggest culprit because it is so mentally blah, 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 speak English, okay, disabling, blah.
Yeah.
And it just, you can't do anything. You feel so limited, you feel old, yeah, you stop living life, and it's frustrating and it's disheartening, and then you get depressed, so you kind of go down a little bit of a rabbit hole and in a negative way when you have pain. And pain is a weird nebulous thing. People experience pain in different ways. And is it, stiffness getting out of bed, or getting up from a chair and your knee locks out, or your hip is achy, or your low back is stiff, or going up and down stairs, or fear of falling? There's a lot of parts of pain that everybody seems to experience.
Yeah,
Same way.
yeah, I have to agree with you. It really is. And that's, I think, the first time when people begin to wake up in the morning and something is stiffer, or something like you said, it locks up, or suddenly you realize you don't want to go and do the things that you used to do without effort. And then there's another kind of pain that jumps on top of that, and that becomes part of the emotional pain of getting coming to grips with, oh, my better years are behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not sure of what's coming up ahead, and so then that starts to create some anxiety. So yeah, that, and I think all of that starts to especially once you cross a certain age threshold on the number, a numeric threshold, then the answer that comes back is, oh, I'm aging. It's, yeah, I'm aging and this is not a good thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That is such an, and what I want to just kind of riff on that one a little bit, that pain of the emotional part. And that happens to us our whole lives. And I don't think we realize it, like the trauma, different things that we experience, and how that just builds up into pain, and
Yeah.
where it, lands in our body over time. And it just goes, and it's, moving or changing or leaving home, or, marriage, divorce, like there's a gazillion things that happen in our life that lead to emotional pain and trauma that really adds up, and that makes us feel maybe, old or weak,
Yeah. Yeah.
or,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, there's a whole discussion we could get into, and I would love to go there sometime. I'll just tease it out just a little bit, and because we're using that word trauma associated with aging, and I think that's a good way to describe it. But unfortunately, the root cause of that is how our society, how our culture considers that process of aging, and how our culture treats our elders. If we had a whole different way to look at that, if we could spin it around, and some more native cultures are much better able to honor those who have attained that wisdom. Who knows, maybe some of
Exactly.
what we would associate as trauma, would go away. I remember when I turned 40, the tradition in the workplace was to, put lots of black balloons and crepe paper around, because it's like you're supposed to be in mourning. And I said, no, I am happy to be entering into my 40s. Let's not play that game. I'm not going to fall down that, as you said, rabbit hole.
And
Yeah.
I think the word also that, unfortunately, instead of honoring, like we have a vision that we're going to be a burden.
Oh,
And we don't want to be a burden because we can't do anything anymore. You can't help with the housework. You can't drive. You can't, whatever. Instead of imparting the wisdom and being a functioning part of society. I think, it's a funky vision and mindset.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
and I know you and I both want to be a part of that paradigm shift of that belief of what has to
Hmm.
happen in that aging process.
Yeah, you're right. Paradigm shift. That's the word of the day. So, it seems like everybody has a pain story. I know I have a pain story. What's your pain story?
Unfortunately, a lot of them, and my own pain of back injury and knee injuries, etc., that brought me to my knees. That's one aspect of it. And studying biomechanics, kind of in orthopedics and understanding what that process is, but seeing others in pain and not being able to do something about it. My mother-in-law is, I guess, my prime example. When she's had chronic whatever for a long time, but then the kind of push over the edge was when she fell and broke her hip. And that is one of the scariest things that you can get when you're a woman over 80. Your prognosis for living another year is very low. And that's a scary prospect to immediately be going into that. And so looking at her recovery off of that, but most recently, my husband just got hurt last week playing soccer, and he is an expert in concussions. That's what he does for his living. And he got hit in the head pretty hard. And he also twisted his ankle. And so how that affects your entire life, and seeing him in pain and figuring out how the body heals. And the contractors at our house is, what his greatest line was, the mind is willing, but the body ain't. That's how he's talking about aging. And, my mother-in-law, when she fell, the bone broke because it was weakened. And the body breaks down and doesn't heal as quickly, and you just feel old. So those are,
Mhm.
my like very in my face pain
Yeah.
stories. How about
Yeah.
you? What's yours?
Yeah. Well, I just want to
Mm,
recognize that you are such a compassionate, determined healer that, your pain story, notice it wasn't just about you, it's about the people around you that you love.
mm,
And and so we can broaden it out there. It stays relevant. It's not just about your individual pain. But
right.
I'll tell you about my individual pain. I mean, I've had a number of knee injuries, and then I also ended up, I had a couple of knee surgeries. But for me, the really debilitating pain, because those were injuries that I was able to heal and get over, it was, I want to go back to what you said earlier about the slow motion trauma. For me, that slow motion started while I was still working in my corporate life. And the buildup of stress in a job that became uh, that required so much more of me, more and more and more. And so my outlet for stress relief and keeping myself upbeat was to go run or go speed walk. And as the situation at work changed, it took away that, or I allowed it to take away. It was not as easy for me to get out and run. Compound that with tenderness of my knees, compound that with sitting a lot in the office, working those extra hours, and suddenly I am just starting to slow down. Things are hurting more. My youthful vigor seemed to be fading away. And I just remember that time waking up where I thought, gosh, I guess I had a good run. People have told me how young I look, and on the outside I looked young. Yeah, but on the inside, no. Plus I was gaining weight. I was gaining weight, which put more pressure on my knees and made me less motivated to go work out. And I wasn't eating well. So all of these started to add up. And before I knew it, I woke up one day just thinking, well, I took it as far as I could, but now I'm on that downhill slope. And I was really pretty young, comparatively speaking. There, I should not have been having those kinds of thoughts, but it just happened all of a sudden. All those lined up. So that's my pain story. It was more, yeah, physical pain, but the mental pain. and the
And
emotion.
I think that's true, like at so many ages. So it's not like, you hit 60, you hit 70, whatever. I see it at 25, at 30, at 35, like where that, but it's not recognizing it. And so
Yeah.
congratulations for kind of, recognizing where that is.
Yeah. Yeah. So since we're still talking about pain, do you think it could ever be a good thing? Is pain ever good?
Oh, pain is critical for, like acute injuries. When there's inflammation and pressing on a nerve, or it's telling us that something is broken or something is wrong, and to pay attention to it. So in acute situation, of an injury or, an accident or something, you have to listen to the pain. And
Hmm.
that's where, my Humpty Dumpty is maybe not so listening to that pain. Um, and because what it will tell us, are they warning signs? Is it something out of balance in the body? So yeah, you have to, pain is very important.
Yeah. In Nia, we say that sensation and pain comes to you as a sensation.
Mhm.
Sensation
Sensation's a good
is,
word, yeah.
yeah, sensation is the language of the body.
Oh my God.
I know, isn't that wonderful? The
That's a good one. Yeah.
sensation is the language of the body. Like you said, your body's trying to get you to pay attention. What have I done? What could I do? How can I get it back into balance? How can I promote the healing? What tools are out there for me? Unfortunately, a lot of us are, I'm gonna blame it on the culture. Our culture is go to the doctor, get a prescription, dull down the pain. Yeah, which sometimes you have to do, but you're also dulling down the the clues that you need, or sometimes you just need to rest. Sometimes you
And,
just
as a high level athlete, our motto was no pain, no gain.
yeah, yeah. And in Nia, I like to say the motto is no pain, no pain.
That's a better.
It's about seeking pleasure and using
Yeah,
pleasure
yeah, yeah, yeah.
as your
Mhm.
guide. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So, not very many people actually look forward to aging, but does it really have to be a worrisome thing? Something to be anxious about? Does it have
Not
to be?
necessarily being anxious, but you do need to kind of plan and prepare for it. And there are, definitely ways of making it easier. Certainly. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be, being the victim in what comes to me. It's, you can be proactive in making it a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, taking action sooner rather than later instead of waiting for it to be upon you. But I have also been very inspired by people who are older than me, much older than me,
Gosh, yeah.
doing things like you just wouldn't believe. People in their 80s and 90s climbing Mount Everest, swimming across the English Channel, doing incredible works of art. There is even the story of a woman in her late 80s, maybe early 90s, who finally went to college, finished a university degree. That belies our expectation that as we age that we're going to become mentally feeble,
Mm.
you know. Do you know of any
Oh yeah, the women that we call ourselves the Wonder Women, that do century bike rides, which is 100 miles, and they're both in mid 70s, and I will say it, kick my ass. I mean, they're unbelievable. They're definitely inspirational for me and have taught me so much. But the other story, I heard just the other day, a local woman who I think is 96. She was interviewed on our local NPR, and she is a power lifter. She got into power lifting, weightlifting. Um, 5 years ago. So she was 91 when she
oh,
started powerlifting. I know, go
oh,
figure, right? She heard exercise is good for her, and she wanted to get strong and not be frail, which awesome. And now she's winning her weight class and in competition, and looks forward to exercising and just loves every bit of it. But the best part of it, what she loves the most, and competition is what she loves the most, is the cheering that she gets. be celebrating her accomplishments. And that's what we all need.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, you get that helps with the endorphins. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
reminds me back when I ran in races, coming across that finish line or getting close to the finish line and hearing people cheer on. There's that that sudden surge. So yeah. So
It
yeah.
gets her going every day, and she looks great and is living by herself, and is not a burden, is not frail, and so I think she's super happy.
Oh, that's fantastic. Powerlifting at age what, 95?
96.
96. Unreal. I think I better start lifting my little 5 pound
I
dumbbell
know exactly.
more
We'll pick
often
on.
while I'm watching TV. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about pain and aging. Let's shift the focus now to this training that we've got coming up next week. Why do you think that it's important? We call it a challenge. You could also call it a training and a training series. Why do you think it's important? Why should people come and join us next week?
Well, we have 5 secrets that we are going to talk about, but the challenge word is interesting, and you challenges you sign up for versus challenges you don't sign up for, and life comes at us like every day. There's decisions, or shit happens, I guess, is a good way to look at it. But you got to be ready for those challenges you don't sign up for. And is it an injury? Is it helping somebody with something, anything? But challenges you do sign up for, like running races or tennis matches, whatever, that you train for, what to do, you learn how to practice using the tools and getting better, are the ones that make the difference and that you can really focus on. So you practice in a safe place, so your body is ready for the challenges you don't sign up for, because we're always going to get those. So why not be ready for everything that life has to come at us with?
Yeah, I really really like the way you think. That is that is a perfect way to think about it. Life is going to throw you curveballs, and the question is, do you have the agility to reach out and catch it?
Mm-hmm,
Or
mm-hmm,
do
mm-hmm.
you have the mental ability? Do you have the eye-hand coordination? Do you have the
The
balance?
reaction, the reaction to not slip on the ice, or to
Yeah.
fall, or
Yeah.
to anticipate stuff with your
Yeah.
eyes, with your ears, all that stuff.
Right. And that's on the physical side. Also on the
Mhm.
physical side, there are challenges of inflammation, in the body. And some of the things that we're going to be sharing next week will help you either prevent or reduce inflammation. We're going to help you, prevent or reduce injury as well, just by being prepared for those challenges, knowing, having that muscle memory, so to speak, having the tools. So these are all the things that we're going to be focusing on next week. And I heard an interesting term. I mean, I have heard this term before, but I really paid attention to it yesterday or a couple of days ago when I heard it. And it's the insult of your body goes through. So we talk about injury, right? So that's going to be something that's very acute, but we don't really think about the insults that our bodies are subjected to on a regular basis, whether it's from the environmental toxins or the food that you're eating that maybe isn't doing the best for your cholesterol. That's an insult to your body. Now, and your body gets over it. Our bodies are incredibly resilient, but there's only so much. There's
Exactly. And it's
only
a equilibrium. It's a, homeostasis, equilibrium, balance. Like, these are all kind of equivalent words, equation. And yes, we get a lot of insults, a lot of these challenges. And yes, our body does kind of balance it out. But if there's way too many of these insults, the body just can't keep up. And how do you build up this side to, balance it out? And that is totally what we're going to be talking about.
Absolutely, with some really simple things.
Mhm.
And so I just have this funny little question to ask you. Let's talk about our tagline. It's Leap into Vitality 5 secrets to beat the aging slump and emerge into your best life. Why do you think that we are focusing on 5 secrets? Why do you think we chose that tagline?
So, the way we are as humans, and learning processes, but also reaction and fear and anger and, these unforeseen challenges. We're trying to control a lot, and there's really little that we can control except kind of our own beings and what goes into it. That is a choice that we can make. And so understanding what those 5 secret things are that you can control is the true fountain of youth. That is the true secret to longevity.
Yeah. There, I've, yeah, I mean, there are various other tools that we can bring into our disposal. And yet these 5 elements, these 5 tools that we're going to be talking about, these 5 secrets are just something that anybody can do. It's innate in
It
your,
is, it is our being. It is our being,
yes.
and it gets out of whack, and we don't consciously think about it. And so we're just kind of bringing it into the forefront of how to think about it and what to do about it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like we're gonna throw you, tell you, go get this tool from, the local store, hardware store, and bring that tool back, and it's gonna make you better.
Or a
It,
medication, no, or a, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's all innate, and so that, in a way, is why we call them secrets because they're so revealing. They're right there, and we want to reveal them to you. You have them already. Also, I like the fact that, we're talking about a small incremental approach. Rome wasn't built in a day. You didn't get to where you are all at one point. It was a series of small steps. And so we're going to introduce, again, some small steps. We want to be your guide through this challenge. And we have, got quite a few people signed up. We're excited about this. So we're going to also be in a container of community. So I think that's a lot of
That I like to think, the other word I is coming to mind is process. It is a process, and to be able to talk to others about where you might be in the process, what's going on in your body. Like, we're not comparing each other at all. Everybody's different. Everybody's been through different things, but getting little insights on, those 5 secrets on where you're at in your body, because everybody's a little bit different, is so valuable. We need each other. We cannot go this process alone. And it can be a really fun process. Like, it's, the journey, enjoy the journey kind of thing. But with understanding little tips and tricks that you can make that journey a little bit easier.
yeah, yeah. And it really is a journey, a process, a journey.
Mhm.
Yeah. So is it ever too late to start the journey or even too soon to start the journey?
It is never, ever, ever too late, as shown by our examples with these amazing elders, I guess. And no, it is not too soon. When as infants and babies, we go through a developmental process, and potentially even starting at that. So as a parent, knowing what's going on with your child, and giving them the right environment, so to speak. So yeah, never too early and certainly never too late. But I will say it gets easier to address, like, before you're too deep down a rabbit hole. The process is a lot longer and harder if you're deep in that rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
out of it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
sooner the
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. And when we both set out on this journey ourselves of building our individual coaching businesses, somebody said that, starting a business is a spiritual journey in and of itself. And I went, ha. And then, oh my goodness, did I learn? Anyway, as we both were crafting what we wanted to do, where our passion was, I think we both sort of staked out a demographic that is a little older because that's where we were, right? That's where we are. That's where we are. And yet I've also always known that these messages are just as potent for people who are in their 30s, in their 40s, in their 30s, in their 20s, for exactly the reason that you just mentioned. The sooner you start, the better. Because what happens, those habits get locked in, and it's harder to unlock those habits once they've actually become part of your musculature. You
Exactly.
if you're like this. And another reason that we tend, our message tends to land with people who are more advanced on the age scale is because they're experiencing they're experiencing that. You have to be really forward thinking as a younger person to recognize, well, that's going to happen, and it's, time is going to accelerate. You'll get there before you know it, so you may as well just do some basic simple things, like sit up straight. And we're going to talk about that next week. We're going to talk
And
about
where we kind of are in life, we have our parents ahead of us, or siblings, etc., and then many have children. Like, so you're kind of in a kind of sandwich community, and you're taking care of parents, and you don't necessarily want to end up like they are right now. You kind of
oh yes,
see some, like, I don't want to be that way, but
yes.
yet you want to be a role model for your children to not be like that. So it's a perfect time right now to recognize that you can make changes, and changes are possible. You're not gonna, you know, um, what's a hereditary, it's not all these things passed down within us.
Yeah, it's not genetic.
That's not genetic, I guess. That's what I
Not
think.
genetic. Yeah. 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 Good. So what can people expect when they join our challenge next week?
Fun. That's our first word.
Yeah.
Fun and enlightenment, and like aha moments, like, oh, I didn't know that, or I didn't think about that. And oh yeah, that's a good point. And so yeah, fun and information, light conversation, and information that you can use for yourself, but
Yeah.
for loved ones, for anybody. So
Yeah.
you're going to come up with so many people like, oh my gosh, they should be listening to this. Oh my gosh, yeah, I got to tell this person. So there's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of that going on.
Yep. Information you can use right away.
Mhm.
Yeah, very, very applicable to everybody. We're also going to be giving away prizes, daily prizes for participation. That doesn't mean, well, yeah, daily prizes for participation, randomly drawn based on participation, and a grand prize that is valued at, well, it's over $1,000. I think it might even be over $1,500. I have to go back and take a look, but we're going to be giving away some very nice prizes. You can also expect that it is going to happen on Zoom as well as Facebook. We would love to have you on the Zoom line. The more, the merrier. It's nicer to be able to actually see folks.
Mhm.
However, if the only way you can join us is via Facebook, then join us via Facebook. We're going to be monitoring both portals there. So it's easy for you to join, but you do need to register. You do need to register so that we can send you the Zoom link, so that we can get you into the Facebook group where this will be happening.
The most important part, I just have to jump in and say, is the engagement. And you can have a professor that tells you to read the first 5 chapters, and come back, and you can hear we're getting all of the information we're going to share. It's everywhere, but it's the engagement. And so if the professor says read the first 5 chapters and understand them, that's like where the value of doing the challenge with us next week is going to come in, is understanding what's going on and what that means and how that pertains to certain people. So
Mhm.
I think that's where the real value of what we're doing is coming to play, is
Right.
that community, that understanding, that compassion, with trained ears and eyes.
Yes, absolutely. I've learned so much from doing challenges from the participants who have engaged, who've
Oh my gosh,
asked
yeah, me
asked a
too.
question or created that aha moment, and others get inspired from that as well. So yeah, you're right. The engagement Really important part.
Yeah, the inspiration from other people. I've learned so much from my clients. It's unbelievable. So yeah, I need that back and forth.
Yeah. So, how can people join the challenge? Well, we're going to add a link into into our comments thread, and click the link. It'll do all the rest for you. Just click the link, sign up. We'll get you the reminders. We'll get you the link for how to join us on Facebook, and we'll we'll be able to have some fun with you on August 24th. So it's next
Right.
Tuesday, August 24th. It'll be about an hour a day, where I'm pretty sure, we might be able to bring it in just under an hour. We'll see. Hope, we'll just see how the engagement goes. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week from 1 o'clock Central Time to roughly 2 o'clock. And
2 o'clock Eastern time. So if whatever, and I guess that would be 12. No, it'd be 11 a.m. Pacific.
yes,
Right? Yeah. Do
yeah.
the math.
And
So
then
also we're going to have a special Facebook group called Leap into Vitality that we're going to be zooming into. And so if you want to watch it on the Facebook group, but that's a nice way to engage as well with questions. So if you're a Facebook person, definitely do that, and you can also see replays on that.
yeah.
I believe for 24 hours. If you're doing it straight Zoom and you don't have access to Facebook, you got to catch us as catch can right then.
Actually, we're going to do our best to send those replays out to anybody who has joined us on Zoom. We're going to do our best to do that. Might take a few minutes, but you'll have about 24-hour access on that end as well. So, like I said, both Zoom and both Facebook. Okay. So, was there something else I was going to say about that? I think that's. Oh,
Is
yeah.
the
So,
technical wizard.
no. So look for the group, register, and then you'll be taken to the group Leap into Vitality 2021. And if you get out there, please get out there beforehand, introduce yourself, let us know what you're looking for and where you're from. And then we'll all jump in there as well as Zoom on the 24th. So
Best part.
yeah. Anybody can do this. Invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite your parents, your grandparents, your kids, whomever. It's gonna be fun. We're all gonna learn something. All right.
Please,
Well,
please ask questions, because this is your time you got me and Yvonne right here. So ask questions on what you're struggling with. Is it your nutrition? Is it aches and pains in your body? Kind of let us know so we can
yeah.
address some of these, very specific personal issues as well.
Yeah, you'll get the brilliance of Anne. She does something she doesn't even know that she's doing it, and I love it. And I call it the biomechanical breakdown.
God, Rick and I were totally geeking out on doing that on his ankle injury, and we were going to He's like, we're just being a detective, and I had my anatomy books out, and we're doing all this cool stuff. So yeah, it's the fun
Oh
stuff.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dinner at around your
Oh,
table
you
must
have
be
no idea. Yeah.
it's got to be fun. Okay, my friends, we are nearing the end. Before I go, I do want to mention, as has become sort of a tradition here, the chakra food and the chakra move of the week. So as you know, we have been focusing on the heart chakra. So I've been really looking for things that are about the heart, about the blood flow and good blood vessels and everything. So the chakra food for today is going to be, or this week, I encourage you to go and get some red bell peppers, assuming you're not allergic to them. Red bell peppers, they are considered a top food for its anti-aging properties. So I snuck a little something in to support our challenge for next week. And they're high in antioxidants. So many of the vegetables out there that we've been focusing on and that we encourage you to eat are good for getting antioxidants into your body. And antioxidants are those things that help prevent or reduce inflammation. Inflammation is one big reason that our bodies are in pain. So it's good to prevent or reduce inflammation. But red bell peppers are also good in are high in vitamin C. And that is helpful for collagen production. All of the cells of your body need collagen. They help with the structure of the cell. But guess what really likes collagen? The skin. So once again, if you want to be able to have that youthful glow, then make sure you're getting enough vitamin C in your diet. And one nice way to do that is with red bell peppers. You can glow with vibrant health from within. And I'm going to just throw a little teaser out here for all the chakra foods that I have been mentioning through the month of August and maybe even July. I'll go back and take a look. I'm actually going to pull those together into a recipe that or a dish that I'm going to share with you next week. So I'm kind of excited about that. See if I can continue to do that on a monthly basis. Okay, so chakra food, red bell pepper. Chakra move is the cow face pose. I didn't realize there was something like that, but cow face pose. Now, this is a great pose for those of us who sit most of the day at work because it's really about opening up your hips and your chest. Now, I'm recommending a modification of that because I don't want to get down on the floor because you won't see me. And it's going to be done without crossing the legs. A good thing about this pose is that it helps counteract the slump that many of us get when we're sitting for a long time. And it's also very calming. So this modified version is don't worry about the legs, crossing them over, but you focus on the upper body and you're just going to raise one hand over, bend it at the elbow, and then to the best of your ability, reach the other hand behind. See if you can grasp or touch your fingers. And if not, don't worry about it. You can get a strap or just leave it as it is. And then lift your chest without lifting it out, but just lift the heart from underneath. Whenever I do this, I can touch my fingers and then I try to actually snake my arm a little bit behind my head for greater alignment. But this is going to expand the chest, allow you to take a deeper breath. And then of course you want to reverse it. You're probably going to notice that one side is a little more flexible than the other. You don't have to do it for long. Just let it begin to expand and improve your alignment. Yeah, so that's your chakra move. It's called the cow face pose. And we'll put these out on my group, Vibrantly Yours. If you're not a member of the private Facebook group, there's free content out there, recipes, lots more inspiration. So head over there for this. As always, I do invite you to connect with me by booking a Vibrant for Life breakthrough session. It's totally complimentary, 30 minutes, a chance for us to delve in and understand what are your goals, what's keeping you from getting there. And if there's a tip that I can offer you to help you take one step further on your journey, then I'm dedicated to doing that. So I heartily invite you to join me sign up for a Vibrant for Life breakthrough session. You can do that by going to my website, vlivingyou, that's the letter u.com, www.vlivingyou.com. And while you're up there, you can sign up for our challenge, Leap into Vitality, next week. It's right there staring you in the face. So you can do that, or you can sign up for our a breakthrough session and also get a free gift. So what's not to love? All right. I think that is all that I have for today. And thank you once again for taking time to share your brilliance with us today in the Vibrantly Living You community.
I'd also like to just say hopping on what you just said of your very generous offer for a free 30-minute conversation with you for all the folks out there. Do it. Yvonne is so damn fun to talk to and has incredible insight. Why not? Absolutely. I love Yvonne for that.
Oh, thank you, Anne. Thank you. Thank you.
Really super easy to talk to you. And as I said, you give brilliant just inspiration and insight that is so valuable. So really do it. It's 30 minutes. It's not going to hurt. It's free. So,
Yeah,
all good
right.
stuff. So,
Okay. And
worth
when
it.
you join us next week, we'll also tell you how you can get connected with Anne as well with AGIFT movement coaching for healthy aging. You have a breakthrough session. Do a
I
complimentary
do
as
as well.
well? Why don't you do? Tell us about it. Tell
For
us
goodness
about
sakes, yes. And so, I come at it from a little bit more of the personal training, physical side of things with the biomechanics and how the body works and energy through the body. So, look, focusing on joint pain, so knees and hips and backs. And so, if you have that stuff going on and you want to ask some questions about it, I got some answers. So
Yeah,
happy to help you out with that.
yeah. I sometimes think of Anne as having the hardware, I have the software.
Exactly. Good way to put it. Good way to put
Yeah,
it.
yeah, the dynamic duo here. Okay. Again, everybody have a wonderful weekend. And remember that a vibrant life is yours. It's yours for the taking. So reach out and grab it. We'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah, grab it. We'll see you next Tuesday. And we'll be back here next Friday as well for the vibe. I have a special guest. We will be tying up the heart chakra month with a person who specializes in the art and the science of falling in love, the art and science of love. Her name is Kathy Garner. She'll be joining us from England, so from the London area. So please, please, please join. All right, everybody, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.